Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me today. Well, it is the first of the month, which means it's release day for Spellbinders Card Kit of the Month, for all their clubs, actually. But I'm going to show you the June card kit. It comes in a new box. Isn't it cute? So as always, I'm going to walk you through what's inside. This one is called Wild Hello. And these are all in one kit. You get adhesive, you get foam tape, you get envelopes and card bases. These are just fabulous. Here is the kit contents page, and it shows you some beautiful examples of cards. And then on the flip side, it shows you their dies. And I am super excited to show you a closer look at these dies. Let me pull this out of the box, and I'll just take this tissue paper off the desk. So you always get some foam squares and some double-sided adhesive. Here is the pack of ephemera, or the die-cut shapes, and this is also called Wild Hello. You get some really beautiful journaling cards. I'm going to pull these out and show you. I used a lot of these on my cards today, and they're double-sided, and the great thing is you get 2 of each. So if you want to use both sides, you have 2 cards to do that. They are very heavyweight, which is nice. And there's lovely sentiments on these. I use them mostly for the sentiments. They're all so cute. There are extras that you can purchase each month, and I'll list those below. Sometimes it's the journaling cards, sometimes it's the die-cut shapes, but I'll have them listed below. So that was the 10 card bases and the 10 envelopes. Here's the darling stamp set. You get lots of cute sentiments and little jungle animals. These puffy stickers were so much fun to play with. They're little sentiments, or rather speech bubbles. And then you get some chipboard stickers, 2 sides to this. I use quite a few of those as well. Okay, so here are the dies. This is going to be a set that I'm going to reach for a lot, but these are sentiment dies. They say happy birthday, hello, celebrate, and big thanks. These fit great on an A2 sized card, either portrait or landscape. And here is the pattern paper. You get a lot of pattern paper. It's lightweight. But I'm going to flip through this book for you. I always start at the back. You get 2 of each. And these were just bright and fun this month. I love these sunshines right there. These are very birthday theme related or summertime. Look at those teal stripes. I love those. And then it starts back at the beginning again. The cardstock this month, you get a black, a green, orange, yellow, light pink, blue, white. You get a metallic gold and a hot pink. Last, I'm going to show you the die-cut shapes. You always get a lot of these, and you always get 2 of each. I'm just going to spread them across my desk so you just get an idea of what they look like. These 2 are bright and pretty. Lots of sentiments, lots of florals, some cute jungle animals this time. But you can make up some really fun birthday cards with these, and you always get a lot of tags, which is fun to put on your cards. But here they are, all are. Let's get into card number 1. I had to try these dies, so I'm going to make a birthday card. Isn't that cute? It has a little dot detail along the line, the border line. And I chose some yellow cardstock and a piece of pattern paper. I didn't know where to start this time because I really loved everything. So I decided to focus on the pattern paper. I started with the very last page of the pad, pulled it out, and then I focused my card around that piece of pattern paper. And that's what I did for all of these cards. This piece of pattern paper has all of these numbers on it, so I thought it would make a really fun birthday card. And I think this design would work for a child or an adult. I love the soft pastel colors. I used some oval dies from Spellbinders to cut out a piece of the blue cardstock. And then I'm going to pop up this die cut shape with some of the foam squares. I love this little banner, so I'm going to adhere that up at the top with some of the foam squares. Next, I'll glue my blue oval down. This is going to be kind of a window for the cake. This will help it pop off the front of the card. I'll put that under the banners. I cut out the happy birthday sentiment with some gold cardstock. And I'm going to adhere this down at the bottom of the card. Just putting little dabs of glue behind it. But each one of these dies is just a little bit different. I really love the hello one too because it has a dainty scallop at the bottom. I'll snip off the overhang. And before I put the cake down, I'm going to glue these balloons kind of up in the corner. And then I can pull off the release paper from these foam squares and attach the cake. And then for a last little touch, I found a cute little bow die cut shape, and I'm going to glue that down flat on the cake. Just needed a little more pop of color there. I do pull out some of the gemstones from Spellbinders, which is new to their shop, and put a few of those around the card. And here's a close-up look of card number 1. Moving on to card number 2, I'm using the next piece of pattern paper in the pad. This one has all of these cute little wild animals on it. And I'll adhere that onto the card base. I didn't leave a border this time. I cut down some of the hot pink and yellow cardstock. And I'm going to use some of the die cut shape animals. The ones with the party hats. This is going to be another birthday card. And again, I think this would work for a child or an adult. So let's adhere this band across the front of the card. This one's going to be landscape. I'll glue these ribbons onto the sentiment. Just seem to match really well. And then I'm going to pop this up with some foam adhesive. And then I can just center this in between my cheetah and the giraffe. I will probably end up using this as a child's birthday card. It seems like I'm always needing those. And then the cheetah and the giraffe I'm going to glue down flat. And now for the cheetah. I should have put a party hat on the giraffe because there was one of those in the die cut shapes. But maybe I could still go back and do that. Next, I'm going to use some of these darling puffy stickers, these speech bubbles. I think I could do with another pack of these. These are fabulous. So the giraffe is saying, make a wish, and the cheetah says, you are the best. And here's a close-up look at the card. So bright and fun. The next card, I'm going to create a kind of an all-occasion card. I cut down a piece of the pattern paper, so it's just a strip of it, and I attached it to a strip of the gold. And I'm going to adhere this to the left of my card. And then I can just snip off the overhang. This was a really fast one to put together. So I'm going to pop up the flowers at the bottom with some foam adhesive. And then all of the sentiments I'm gluing down flat. I'm just kind of lining them up on the pattern paper. The first one says, hello, lovely. And then the next one says, love you lots. The black one says, you are awesome. And then the last one says, love and hugs. I'll add a die cut shape heart just by the flowers. And then I do add some gold gems around the panel, and here is the finished card. this next card is one of my favorites, and it's really a simple one to put together. I'm going to put down some of the hot pink cardstock over the card base. And I really love this block text piece of pattern paper. And I cut this down a little bit so that the hot pink will provide a mat for it. Just a very narrow mat. And then I chose a journaling card, 2 of them actually. I love the sentiment on this one. It says, "Life is full of little joys." I'll attach this one to the pink journaling card. I just want the pink of it to show, and I want it to be kind of wonky. I'll layer that. And then I'm going to flip this over and add a little more dot liner. And then center this on the card. I want the blue journaling page to be centered or even on this card. There's a cute rainbow die cut shape, but I'm going to cut out the yellow bit underneath it. And this is going to add a little bit of dimension to the rainbow. So I am going to pop this smaller rainbow up with some foam squares, and then just kind of center that in the middle. Next, I'm going to adhere down this cute yellow balloon right next to the sentiment. Another die cut shape that I really love is this sunshine. I popped it up with some foam adhesive, and I'll put that in the corner. I added some white gemstones around this panel, just 3 of them, mostly around the sentiment. I like to use my all-in-one tool to do this because they're so little, they're hard to pick up. I put some Wink of Stella over the sun, and here is the finished card. This is another one that you can send out anytime. My next card, I'm going to use the Hello die. I'm going to layer this onto another piece of white cardstock. So I cut it out twice. Just want to give it a little more heft. But look at that cute scallop on the bottom, and the font on these are really cute. So I do end up putting an acrylic block over this until it dries. And once that is dry, I'm going to attach it to my next piece of pattern paper, which is this cute hot pink piece. I'll glue this on at the bottom. And then I did allow that to dry, and then I can snip off the overhang. I'll add some gold cardstock to the card base. And then I was going to add liquid adhesive behind my pink panel, but the pattern paper is so thin I didn't want to do that. So I'm very carefully adding dot liner. I don't want to smash the pattern paper that's around the die cut. I'm going to use this cute wreath die cut shape, and I'm putting some foam strips behind it. You have to take off the release paper, and then you can manipulate it into a circle very easily like this. And I'm using 2 strips together just so it's wide enough. I really love making wreath cards. I just need one more little piece to fill this gap. And then I'm going to adhere this to one of the die cut shape sentiments. And this one says, "Always in my thoughts." And the foam strips will make kind of a little window, and it just is a cute touch to this card. I added some glue behind it, and I'll adhere that to the top of the card. I'll add a yellow bow at the bottom of this card. And then I do add a few of the gold gemstones. The gemstones on these sheets come in different tones, and they're so pretty. I love the really dark ones. They almost look like chocolate to me, shiny chocolate. I'll put one more up at the top. And that's all I do to this card. Here's a close-up look. Okay, on to the next one. The pattern paper I'm using this time is the darling little Sunshines. I'll put this on a piece of yellow cardstock. It will provide just a very thin mat to the pattern paper. I'm using some very thin score tape because I want to add a white bow at the bottom of the card, and this is the best way I know how to do this to keep it secure. So I'll put the double-sided adhesive at the bottom and just wrap it around. And then I can pull up the release paper. And then I can just put my ribbon right over the double-sided adhesive, and I'll wrap the ribbon around as well. Let me trim this one down first. And then I'll add a little bit of the double-sided adhesive over the ribbon on the back just to really keep it secure. Now I can add my dot liner on the back of this panel, and of course I'll pull off the release paper here. And I'll attach this to the white card base. I wanted a lot of that sunshine pattern paper to show. I'm going to tie a small bow. This will just go over the ribbon at the bottom. I'll trim off the ends, and then I'm going to use a micro dot to keep this in place. These micro dots last forever. I'll just press the bow into the micro dot and pick it up that way. And then I can just push it onto the card, and this will keep it really secure. I'm going to trim the ends just a little bit shorter. So I'm going to be using some of the chipboard stickers. I love these little houses. And I'm going to put a banner between the houses. I'll glue this down flat. Got to pull out my tweezers here. I'm getting so that I use these a lot. I want to see the placement first before I press it down. And then my chipboard stickers still have the acetate behind them. That's why they're not sticking. But I'm going to put some foliage behind the houses. I thought that these chipboard stickers and the greenery around them were dark enough to not get lost on this sunshine pattern paper. So that's why I didn't put anything behind them. This little leaf looked like a tree to me, so I'm going to make that a tree next to the house. And now I can pull the acetate off, and I do use liquid glue behind it because these do tend to fall off if you don't add some kind of extra adhesive behind them. So I'll glue the first one into place, and I'll do the same with the second house. And then the chipboard sticker sentiment says a happy hello. I like that touch of black on this card. I added some gold gemstones to this card as well, and here's the finished card. This one looks kind of cartoony to me, but I really love how it turned out. Next card is going to be another birthday card. I'll use a piece of green cardstock, and I cut it a little bit smaller than my card base. I love this tag from the die cut shapes. It's such a big, cute tag. I'm going to use that next. But I am going to add a little bit of white ribbon and tie a bow at the top. I was going to use that black and white twine that you saw in the corner, but the white seemed to pop more. So I'll tie just a small bow. And then I can secure this with another micro dot. I didn't adhere it down yet because I want to build my scene. This is another die cut shape, this little frame, and I'm attaching it to a piece of orange pattern paper. I'll use some dot liner behind the frame as well as a micro dot behind the ribbon. And I just pick it up with my all-in-one tool. And then I can just press this onto the side of the card. The frame I'll glue down and put at the side of the tag. Inside the frame, I'm going to use another chipboard sticker. This little zebra was so sweet. The coloring on him was so pretty. I can pick it up, chasing it across my desk there. But I'll add some more liquid glue. And I'm going to put him on the side. I'll put the happy birthday sentiment at the bottom. This looks nice with the black. It kind of matches the tag and it just really pops. I'll use some scissors to trim off the overhang. It's also going to have this sentiment on it, which says, "Hooray for today." I'm going to use a square foam piece behind it just so it doesn't bend down there at the corner. This rainbow is another chipboard sticker. I'll put this at the top of the frame. There's a lot going on with this card. I'll attach this banner next with a little more glue. I want to kind of tuck it behind his back, so I'm going to gently lift him up so that can be tucked there. And then my last sentiment is going to go at the bottom, and this one says, "Have a wild day." I use some more gemstones. These are the silver ones around this panel, and here's the finished card. I think this one is another of my very favorites. Okay, on to the next one. I'm going to use this cute diagonal striped pattern paper and another journaling card. I cut this one so that it was a rectangle, and I'm going to mat it with a piece of the black cardstock from the kit. It's hard to see that on my desk, so I have to put it on the card so I can center it correctly. Then I'll pop this whole piece up with some foam adhesive. I'm going to put it at the top left because I want to add a bunch of flowers in the bottom right corner. Now, I'm using some dies that came in last June's card kit of the month. I love these. I keep them in a container next to my desk because I use them so often. But you can use some of the die cut shapes or whatever dies you have to create some pretty flowers if you want to recreate this card. I popped them up with some foam adhesive as well as a little bit of glue, just so that they are the same height as the sentiment. This could be a birthday card or another any occasion card, I think. All of these flowers have a little bit of foam adhesive on them, and then when they overlap onto the sentiment, I use liquid glue. The cardstock I use to cut out all these flowers is, of course, from this card kit. And one last little leaf. I'll just tuck that under the largest flower. I did add a chipboard sticker heart at the top and some more of the silver gemstones. And here it is close up. I'm using another journaling card. I loved the sentiment, or I should say sentiments, on this one. They say more sunshine, more smiles, more laughter, more happiness, more flowers, more rainbows, more love. It's just beautiful. So I'm going to cut around it, and I'm using another, or the last of the tags. I'll put some twine on this tag. This is just some yellow twine, and I'll again tie another bow. I did pop up my sentiment with some foam adhesive, but the banner, the tag is going to go down flat. So let's add some black cardstock onto the card base first. The black and the yellow look really striking together, I think. Now for another piece of pattern paper. I'll center this on the black, and I couldn't see it again on my mat, so I'm pulling in a piece of green cardstock that was just handy there on my desk. Now I can see where to center this. So the tag will go next in the center. I'll put another micro dot behind it. And then I really love how the sentiment kind of goes off the sides of the tag. So cute. I'll add this last of the sunshine die cut shapes up at the top, and then these hearts at the bottom. And of course I'm going to use some more of the gemstones, and these are the light golden ones. And here's a close-up look. Such a bright, happy card. I love this one. Okay, so let's make another birthday card. I'm using some Spellbinders circle dies to cut out a piece of the hot pink cardstock. I'm going to cover up the sentiment on this journaling card, just because I thought it would be the perfect spotlight window for the cake die cut shape. The pattern paper I'm going to adhere onto the card base is this cute confetti piece, and it has gold foiling details on it. And now for the journaling card. And then the cake, I did pop up with some foam adhesive. And I'll center this right on the hot pink circle. It just helps to make it pop off the card. The sentiment says, make a wish. I'll just attach that at the top. And I'm going to put a few of the die cut shape hearts around this panel. I think this was one of the fastest cards that I created with this set. And then, of course, I'm going to attach some more of the gemstones. I'm just addicted to their new gemstones they have in their shop. And here's a close-up look. Okay, I have one last bonus card for you. I just couldn't stop creating with this fabulous kit. I'm going to use the block text pattern paper again, but I'm going to do a little bit of ink blending over it. I'm using Kitsch Flamingo and Squeezed Lemonade. Where they blend together, it turns a pretty orange, but I just want a little bit of color on this panel. So I will attach this to a piece of the pink pattern paper. I pulled in a white card base from my stash. And this is where I run out of the Kokuyo dot liner. So I'm going to use the double-sided adhesive from the kit. This is really great stuff. The only reason why I don't use it on my card videos is because, as you see, it takes a while to film, and then I usually have to edit it out. I'll peel off the release paper with my all-in-one tool. This is very strong adhesive. Once it's down, it's not going to go anywhere, as you'll see here in just a sec. So if you are going on vacation, you can take this kit with you and you won't need to bring any glue. So I'm trying to center this on the card base, and I do put it down a little bit crooked. You can see the white of the card base behind it, and I try pulling it up, but then I'd stop because I don't want to rip the panel. But I'm just going to keep going. It's not that bad. So my sentiments come from another journaling card. I had a row of Hip Hip Hooray, and I cut them out with my paper trimmer and popped them up with some foam strips. I'm just going to put them kind of wonky along this card. This one looks kind of straight, but I do change it here in a second. The inspiration for the colors on this card came from these sentiments, the pink and the yellow and the white. And then at the bottom, oh, here's where I change, or I move this middle sentiment. And then at the bottom, I'm going to put some more die-cut shapes. These could be leaves or feathers. They look more like feathers to me, so that's what I'm going to call them. I pulled out a yellow Copic marker. I'm just going to color in little sections of the feathers. And then I'll pull out a pink Copic marker. I'm going to adhere these down flat on the bottom of this card. But first I'm going to tie a bow with some pink ribbon. There's a lot of bows going on in this video. Just a bow kind of day, I guess. I'll adhere these down first, and they're going to be kind of overlapping. And then I'm going to use, of course, another micro dot behind this bow and just press it over the bottoms of the feathers. Then I'll trim the ends off. I added some silver gemstones on this panel, and here's the finished card. Thanks so much for sticking with me through this super long video. I hope that you enjoyed it and that you were inspired. All of the links to the products that I used, as well as to the card kit of the month for June, will be listed in the description box below, as well as over at my blog. And I'll have still shots of all of the cards I created at my blog as well. You can purchase this card kit of the month called Wild Hello starting today, and it goes through the 24th of June. Last month's kit sold out pretty fast, so I would say order it right away if it's one that you'd like to have. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Take care. Bye.